Happy pub day to Wild Reverence. I got to read an e-arc of it a couple weeks ago, and this was easily my favorite read of August. Although it's set in the same world as Divine Rivals, you don't have to have read Divine Rivals to enjoy this one. It takes place many centuries beforehand. It follows Matilda and Vincent. Matilda is the youngest of all the gods in her clan, and in this world there is very much a hierarchy, and she is but a humble messenger god. However, in this world, gods will kill for power, and she is holding a very big secret. It also follows Vincent, who is he's part of the nobility. He dreamed about Matilda when he was a child, and they met once, but then on the darkest night of his life, she does not respond, and it is devastating, and the two don't cross paths again until they come to another very perilous moment. Although Wild Reverence is set in the same world as Divine Rivals, it reminds me a lot more of A River Enchanted, because you have these two opposing clans. You have the Underlings and the Skywards. Also, Matilda and Vincent remind me a little bit of Jack and Adara, who were estranged childhood friends who then come to meet each other again as adults. So I think if you really liked A River Enchanted, you will probably also like Reverence, because it just seemed more of that vein. But I really like this. The whole first part follows Matilda when she was little, and I was not expecting to get so much of her as a child, but it makes sense, and it was really interesting. I thought the way it laid the groundwork for who the gods are, how they work, what their dynamic is, the different court politics was so interesting. So if you read Divine Rivals and you really wanted more of that magic, the world building, then you definitely get a lot of that in Wild Reverence. So I thought that was really interesting as well. I also just love the dynamic between Matilda and Vincent, this connection they had when they were little that got broken and severed, and how they come to see each other again as adults. I also really love the secondary characters in this one. In particular, you have Bade, the god of war, who's this sort of foster father figure to Matilda. I absolutely loved their dynamic. I thought it was so well done, so interesting. I also really loved Nathaniel, Vincent's younger brother. He reminded me a little bit of Kate from the Poppy War. I just loved his character. His whole journey was fantastic. Like, I could read a whole book just about like Nathaniel and his little arc in this book. It was great. Overall, it was such a beautiful story. Rebecca Ross's prose is just as gorgeous as ever, and the world is just so fascinating. I love the way she built on so much of what she started in Divine Rivals, and these characters are just really fantastic. If you're a fan of her work, I would definitely recommend picking this one up, especially, like I said, if you liked A River Enchanted, because it reminded me a lot more of this one.